Let's take a look at the chart action for Bitcoin. All right, so we're looking at Bitcoin on TradingView on the daily time frame up here. And the main thing I'm watching is this trend line right here. I think if we break this trend line going to the downside, then I'll be much more confident on my limit orders set up right here. I got these limit orders from setting up a Fibonacci retracement chart, which is this thing right here. And in a second, I'll walk through going how I set up this chart from scratch. But the main thing right now I want to show you is that I'm watching this trend line. We got these two bottoms right here, got a trend line going up like that. We actually bounced on the trend line right there, went up, got resistance right here, and now we kind of formed a resistance trend line, something like this. If we break this trend line going to the upside, then that's a bullish signal. I think if we break this trend line going to the downside, then that's going to be a bearish signal, and we're going to go a little bit more down. I think, and the limit orders I have set up right now are the 38% level and the 50% level on this chart. And these levels are sitting at 60359, the 38% level, and then the 50% level is sitting at 56182. My limit orders are set a little bit lower. I might have to readjust them, but mine are sitting at 55826 and 59946. I think the other thing that I'd be watching for if we broke this to the downside is this other trend line right here. We had, let me zoom out a little bit, we had support right here and support right here, giving me this line going like this. So I think if we break this one, this might be a place that it might be bouncing on. I think this 50% level sitting at 55,826 or 56,182, that around there might be a good spot to be looking at. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I'm kind of thinking. We haven't broken this trend line to the downside yet, though, so we're not, I mean, I'm not really 100% sure. I think the other thing that I've been watching, though, too, is the 9 moving average right here. And like I was talking about, once we're under it, once we break under it, then it'll be pretty much resistance, and that's pretty much what we've been doing. We've been coming up to it, testing it, and getting rejected and getting pushed down. So I think until we break this 9 moving average, hopefully you guys can see it. Let me turn everything off. Okay, so you can see it a little bit better now, but this blue line right here, see right here, we're getting support on it, and then once we broke through it, then now we're getting resistance on it. Until we break this trend line, actually going to like breaking out of it, break through it, then I think we're going to stay under that, and it's going to give us resistance and push us down. But once we do break through it, I think that's, I guess what I'm saying is that that's going to be a bullish signal right there. All right, so let's go ahead and set up this chart from scratch and show you how I got here. Let's go to a different Bitcoin chart, something like this. Okay, so we're on the Binance chart, and we could actually, I think I showed you this in my last video, but I was also looking at this kind of wedge here, this and that's going to be a bigger target that could potentially go to 140k, but that's kind of speculation. Let's go ahead and just delete everything. Okay, so basically how I got to my last chart, we have a bottom right here, a bottom right here, which gives me a trend line, something like this. And we're in the daily time frame right now, and we can switch to time frames up here. So let's go ahead and so this is one of the trends I was looking at, and then we also had some bottoms right here, right here, right here, right here. Let's set up that trend line as well. Actually, this one was one, and then there was another one, something like that. So let's go ahead and set those up. We had this bottom and this bottom, and I think that's the second trend line that I'm watching. If we break this first one, and then this first one is sitting something like this, which we're actually testing right now. So the other thing I was watching is these tops, and now I switched to the 4-hour time frame up here to give us a little more magnified view, and we have resistance, resistance, resistance. And I was also wondering, this kind of looks like a setup to a inverse head and shoulder. I was looking at this on Ethereum, and maybe this is kind of similar, where we have a low, high, and then if we could get a bounce right here and push out and then do something like that, then that would be a inverse head and shoulders. Maybe not perfect because we got another little bounce right here, something like that, but I don't know. I was kind of looking at that on Ethereum, and it kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders if we got to bounce right here. We would need to bounce right here and push out, and then once we broke this, then we could actually target from the top to the bottom. And I'll try to make an Ethereum video too, but it would be something like that. Basically, we have a neckline like this, and then we target from the bottom to the top of the head area, and then there's the shoulders, and then the head. But like I said, we'd have to get a bounce right here. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Let's see if we can bounce right here, and if we do, then I don't know, it's still possible that we kind of are stuck in this little area, and we'd have to wait for a breakout to the upside or downside to really know if we're going up or down. But I wanted to show you how I got to my chart, and let's go back to the daily time frame. We had a run up like this, so I set up the Fibonacci retracement tool because I was expecting a correction, and we kind of started pushing down a little bit. We also had a little trend line, something like this. I think this is what gave me the signal that we might be in a correction, or we might start doing one. So we had this line right here, bottom, bottom, bottom. It's basically just getting support on this line right here. We broke that going to the downside, and that's when I was kind of thinking maybe it's time for a correction and time to set up the Fibonacci retracement levels, which lets me, so I can sell when it breaks, and then I can buy back at levels. Gives me levels to try to buy back at, and then I also use other signals like when we break the tops, then that's also a little signal to do a trade or potentially get dollar cost back average into it. But basically, try to sell and then dollar cost average back into it at different spots. I'm not sure how far we're gonna go down, if we'll break this one or not. I'm thinking maybe the 50%, we hit the 50% level and then get a bounce, but I don't know for sure. We'll kind of see. And that's why we watch all of these trend lines to kind of give us signs whether we're changing direction or not. Right now, we're kind of stuck in between these two trend lines. Once we break out to the upside or the downside, then we can kind of get a better idea. And usually when we break out, I like to see the candle close and then see the next candle continue the momentum. If we kind of are sitting at the same level, then it might not be a breakout. I think the other thing that you have to watch for breakouts too is the volume. So if there's like a big spike in red or green, then it'll be another confirmation of whether we're going up or down or not, or if it's actually a breakout, or if it's just I don't know, a fake out. So yeah, next spots that I'm looking at are 38% level and 50% level. If we break to the downside, I have a feeling that we will, but we don't know yet. And also, like I was saying, this pattern kind of looks like a head and shoulder. I mean, in my opinion, on the Ethereum one, on the Ethereum chart, it looks a little bit more. So I'll have to kind of maybe I'll make a video on that. If we get a bounce right here though, then that could potentially be a head and shoulders pattern, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think though. If you guys like the video, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one, and I'm going to try to make some more tutorial videos. All right, see you guys later.